Hello. I am just back on here really quickly. Apologize. 1 second. Nothing ever goes as planned. There we go. So what I want to jump on here and talk about right now is airing down my tires for off-road use. So I own, as you probably know, if you watch some of my other videos, I own a 2012 Jeep Wrangler. And I run a 38-inch Milestar Patagonia. And it's a 3817. And I do run the Dirty Life Beadlocks. So this is going to be what I run my tires on or at for off-road with my Dirty Life Beadlocks and my tires that I have. So, and the things that I use to do it. So this is if you have maybe are just not sure on how to air down or maybe what to air down to. Every tire in every vehicle is going to be different because the size of the wheel and the size of the tire and the type of tire. Some tires are bias ply, some are a smaller ply than others. My husband's Mickey Thompson's that he has are bias ply tire, which means they are much thicker. So he can air down quite a bit more than I can, even with beadlocks. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea. So to get started, I was just going to show you kind of what I use to air down and what helps me. So when I get to the trailhead, I will go ahead and air down. And obviously there's more to just airing down, taking my sway bars off because I'm not a Rubicon. I wasn't a Rubicon from the start. So let me kind of show you what I do. So just to show you some things that I use. So that is my air compressor. And I absolutely love it. Sorry, it's tangled a little bit. So these actually hook up to my battery for my car. So it's just obviously positive, negative. To make it run a little bit faster, you want to make sure your car is running when you air your tires up with this, because it gives more power to that and it makes it air your tires up just a little bit faster, which when you're done at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. Air up and get home as quickly as possible, wherever you got to go or eat or whatever you're doing. So that's that. This is the hose that goes to my air compressor. If I can put this down without screwing up my laptop. There we go. Okay. So essentially how this works is this just attaches. This just attaches to this right here. It just clicks in because they're fast connects. So you just pull back on this lever right here. Keep it pulled back, push in, and let go. It should pop in. And voila, that's in nice and secure. This is just for airing up at the end of the trail. And then same thing with this, guys. Pull back. And voila, you're ready to air your tires up. Now, Smittybilt also comes with this awesome thing. You can get an end for this, so you don't have to screw this on and off the valve stem every single time you're done, but I have not got that yet. This does come with your own gauge as well. It's kind of upside down in the camera. But you can then, while you're airing up, you can see the pressure on your tires, which is nice. So I actually got a separate air gauge because this one isn't always completely accurate. So the air gauge I run that I love, this is actually called, it's by Alien 4x4. I don't know if you can see that. But it goes down past, you can actually go all the way to like 2 or 3 pounds, which is awesome, which is what I need. And that's what the end looks like. This is just a 1-part gauge. They have other gauges like the ARB. And those ARB gauges are actually a 3-part. So they're pretty cool. If you have never had one, I actually tried one the other day and it was awesome. What happens is you can essentially, there's another section on here. So it will allow you to unscrew the valve stem in the stem itself of the tire and pull that core out, let the tire air out very quickly. And then as you push back in, it will automatically show you the pressure, which is awesome. This one does not do that. ARB does. So this is a 1-part. The other one is a 3-part. So I just use this because it goes much lower. On my beadlocks, to air down my tires, and I'll tell you why I don't use the stem remover in just a moment, because that's kind of an issue for me. This is what I'm using to air my tires down right here. These are by TerraFlex. They're just called air downs. There's 4 of them. This is what they look like. So essentially what you do is you remove the cap on your tire, like the valve stem cap, and then you screw these on, and this little thing in here pushes on the stem core and then lets the air out. What's great is you can still check the pressure on the end of this still and not have to unscrew it to be able to do that. And the other thing that's great is to be able to put them on all 4 tires at once, so you're not letting air out so slowly. You can air them out all at once, which is great. You will end up doing a bit of running around to keep up, however. I always recommend starting one tire, waiting a few minutes for it to go, and then starting the following tire, and so on and so forth. Then that way, you're not trying to keep up and then have a tire that's way too fast, like goes way too fast, that you can't get to, because I've had that happen. The reason now, going to why I don't use a stem core puller for airing my tires down, is number 1, I run balance beads for my tires. And I don't know if you guys have this, but stock, these Jeeps come with wheel sensors. And so in order to make your vehicle run right, unless you have like a computer, one of those tuners that can deactivate those, your tire has to have it on or your Jeep will act up, and you don't want that. So I have a ProCal, and I've actually turned that off. But the issue is with those sensors, they're part of the stem. So you can get back there and you can actually just go get a whole new stem without the sensors. What's happening with mine is every time I let the beads out, regardless, or air out, every time I let air out, the balance beads want to come out and it clogs my valve stems. So at that point, I either can't get the stem core out to get it back in, like I have to take the stem core out to see if I can unclog it to make sure it's actually going to let air out, and then it does, and then air is still coming out, so then you're stuck with air still coming out of the tire. So that right now is my issue, and I'm going to fix that this weekend by getting rid of the sensors, because I just barely turned off my notification for, I don't need wheel sensors, because I just got rid of the whole thing altogether with my ProCal, which is awesome. If you guys want to do that and they're driving you nuts, that's my thing. Wheel sensors are bigger, so the little balance beads in there are like sand, and they get all caught up on that stupid little sensor in there, and then it clogs up the stem, and it just won't work. I was riding around in Vernal with one of these on my tire until it let enough air out, which was fun. I almost forgot about it, which is great. But that's just one of my stories. So let me kind of show you really quick. With my Patagonias, I like to go down, well, I can go down to, I think, about 6 and be safe. With my husband's, because my husband's, again, is a bias ply, he can go down to like 3 pounds and still be okay. It's such a difference in the different kind of tires that you have. So it's all going to really depend on the tire that you run and also the wheel that you run with the tire as well. I only have a bead lock that is on one side. They have bead locks that are actual dual side bead locks. So you have a bead lock on the inside of the tire and a bead lock ring on the outside of the tire. So you want to make sure that if you do have bead locks, they're great because you can go much lower in air pressure. But you want to make sure of what that is based on the tire that you run. So I did run, I think at one point I accidentally ran 5 and I was fine. I wouldn't recommend that, not with Patagonias. I never blew a bead, thank goodness. With bead locks, you can still blow a bead on the inside and it's no fun. So now to talk about if you don't have bead locks, you know, and again, this is really dependent on the type of tire that you have and the type of wheel. I did not run bead locks all the time with these 38s. I had just the stock wheels, the stock black, great, wonderful aluminum stock Jeep wheels. I ran 12 was the lowest I've ever ran, and I almost blew a bead. So you're pushing it to run 12. I don't recommend it. Again, that's with Patagonias with my stock Jeep wheels. A lot of people say maybe don't run any less than 15 because you don't want to end up putting a bead back on a tire on the trail. If you need to put a bead back on the back on your tire, back on the rim on the trail, a lot of people, believe it or not, we've done it, have used ether or starting fluid and a lighter. It works, it's loud, and it's not. It's kind of scary, a little bit unsettling, but it does work. I know that much. So let me just show you really quick. Once again, I'm kind of a chatterbox. I'm going to throw these on a tire just so you can I can show you how this works. So the stem of mine is right here. I wonder if it's not really going to let anything out. Like I said, guys, because normally right now, because I have balance beads in there, I can't, probably nothing will come out, right? Very minimal because I haven't changed out. I haven't taken and eliminated the tire sensor. So I just throw, like I said, I just throw this on there. I'll be surprised. Well, I'll see. I don't know. I'll be surprised if it works or not. I got a lot of work to do this weekend. I got to pull 4 bead locks apart, which is great. So you just screw these on, guys, like so. Oh, it's working. Let me show you how I check the pressure. Now remember, with any of these, guys, you're going to put this on the tire, and then every time you check it, there's this little button right here. And all that does is you're going to notice, like when you take it off, that this is going to stay where the air was. So you have to push the button to reset it, to make it work again, to get a good reading. So I can just put this right on that air down and it will do the job. So I'll take it off, and it's actually going to stay there. So I can reset it again to check my tire pressure again. Let's reset it. Now it's back to 0. Let's check it again and see. Okay. Check it. Reset it. Unscrew it. Obviously, I would be going down to a lot less right now. I run my tires, and that one has to go back up, but I'll just start back up. So I run my tires because these are technically, I've been told, truck tires, and my Jeep runs better on the road. With these tires, it runs much, much better at a lower tire pressure. So I only, where'd that go? I only run, I really only run about no higher than 32 or 33 pounds of pressure in my tires. And they run perfectly at that. So I know next year I'm going to be moving to a different tire. I'm going to be running to the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, and I'm very excited for them. They're going to be a 40-inch tire. It'll be much closer to my gear ratio, which is a 538 currently. So I'm hoping to get better gear, better mileage, because as of right now, the 38s are too small for the gears that I've got. And we planned on going with 40s from the get-go, but we didn't have everything sleeved and gusseted back then. So we were a little bit worried and a little bit concerned if I did that I would end up breaking a lot more and spending a lot more on my no underspender, you know? So anyways, I just wanted to jump on here. I hope this helps you guys. Again, TerraFlex air downs, there's 4 of them. You can throw them all on your tires at once. They are so awesome. They never let me down. But if you do the balance beads in your tires, guys, and you have wheel speed sensors, the one thing that I made a mistake is we put the old valve core stems back in with the balance beads that we put in. When you get balance beads instead of it, so what balance beads are, let me go back here. What balance beads are essentially is it's sand. It's kind of like a sand or like crystals, very, very small crystals. And you take the wheel apart and you pour or just drop the whole bag in there. And then over time, the bag disintegrates, and then the little beads fall out. And as you drive, the balance beads balance your tires, and you don't need weights on your tire. The reason I did that was because I went to go get my bead locks put on. I did not. Oh crap! I'm gonna get hit with a sprinkler. But the reason I did that was because fun. The reason I did that was because I came home the next morning. I'm gonna get wet. The reason I did that was because if I didn't, I was gonna have problems. I woke up the next morning after I got them done and put on by Big O, which they were awesome, but my new weights wouldn't stay on. I found upwards of 15 weights just fell off my wheel. Literally the next morning, they were in my driveway. So lo and behold, I needed another option. And mine's a daily driver, and that, well, not really, kind of. But anyways, so I put balance beads in them, and I haven't had a problem other than airing down. So because we did not know what those other stems were for, I didn't put them in. So the balance bead bags come with new stem cores. They are so those are specific to having balance beads in your tires. They need to go in. If you get balance beads, they come with new stem cores, and there's a reason for it. You need to put them in. So they are meant to hold back all the little beads from clogging stuff up as well. So you want to make sure you put those stem cores in if you run balance beads, because you end up with possibly my problem, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you got lucky. So yeah, that's just me on here ranting, you guys. I hope, once again, I hope this helps just one person. If it's one person, great. But just remember, if you run balance beads and if you have those wheel sensors, which I think all the newer ones do, you will, oh my gosh, I'm getting wet. You will most likely end up having to eliminate the wheel speed sensors, or the wheel sensors inside the tire, which is a fun job. So that is what I'm going to be doing this weekend, is pulling every single tire / bead lock apart and doing away with those wheel sensors inside the tire. Fun. Wish me luck, guys. I hope you have a great night, and I hope it helped. And please don't forget, if you like any of our content, please don't forget to give us some love, some subscribe love. We would love your support. It really gives us a huge help. So Thanks so much for watching once again. Like, subscribe, and share once again, and have a fantastic evening. Peace out, guys.